How are you guys doing? I want to talk about the series for a minute, The Offer. Now, now if you don't know, this series just dropped a teaser. Now, what this series is, it is a. I don't really know how to classify it because it's not a documentary. It's. I don't know what you call this because, again, it's not a documentary, but it's about the making of The Godfather based on true events. But I don't know if it's largely fictionalized. I don't think it is. I think this is largely true, but it's like hard to classify what kind of show this is, right? Because it's not real, but it's also not fake. Like, what is this? Anyways, this series is about the making of The Godfather, which if you did not know, like, I love The Godfather. Of course, everyone does. I want them on Blu-ray. I need upgrading these to 4K pretty soon, but The Godfather is the greatest film series of all time. The third one, while not being the best, is not as nearly as bad as some people say. It's still not a good movie, but And the way I look at it is this: is The Godfather. This trailer was amazing, and it's not what I expected, but it also makes sense when you watch it. This trailer felt like a mafia movie, which I didn't expect because, well, I don't know. I expected more of like a documentary type feel because the show is like it's not actually a documentary. You have an actor playing Coppola, right? This isn't actual Coppola, even though, which is kind of funny because actually Coppola is still alive, and you feel like you would want to do a documentary about the making of The Godfather, why he's still alive. I think he's in like his 70s or 80s, so like why not do an actual documentary series about The Godfather? I feel like it's gonna happen eventually. But it's interesting because Coppola is one of the greatest filmmakers just to ever live ever. He did Apocalypse Now and Godfather, and both those movies are some of the greatest films ever made. But when you watch those films, uh, they all had like just the shittiest productions. They went through production hell, but they came out actual masterpieces. With Apocalypse Now, it was more of like a rush, or not a rush, but a rough start to get to as we know it as the masterpiece. There's been different cuts and things like that. But Godfather is a little bit different with that because Godfather was instantly the highest grossing film of all time when it came out. It was instantly like this classic. And so, you know, but, it's like he's one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. So I kind of want to see him talk about the making of his movies, right? But I'm sure I could find some documentaries that would involve with him talking about his movies or watch interviews or whatever. But I don't know. It just felt funny to me to see like this, and it's like project being announced. And it's like, oh, it's Coppola, but it's not Coppola. It's some guy playing Coppola. I forget who's playing it. But in this trailer, it just shocked me that this looks so much like a mafia movie. It all makes sense though because if you know the actual history of The Godfather, The Godfather actually had the actual mafia involved, and that's part of the actual history. I don't know the full details with that, but that's part of the actual history around The Godfather, blah, blah, blah. So, it's a really interesting series when you look at it because the trailer looks like a mafia movie, and that's, which fits it because it's based on a mafia movie, the greatest one and the most famous one. I don't know. People debate Goodfellas or Godfather. I say it doesn't really matter because Godfather comes first. You don't have Godfather without Goodfellas. It's kind of like if you were to ask me which you like more, Creed or Rocky. It doesn't matter because you don't have Creed without Rocky. So I think it's the greatest mafia film ever made anyways. But it's like, yeah, so this is a interesting show from the stance of like this is a very, very interesting stance to take on this idea of like, hey, we're gonna make a show about making Godfather, but we're going to make it feel like a Mafia movie, which makes sense because the actual subject matter that you're dealing with and the backstory behind making the movie, but also makes sense because the type of movie it is. So it's like really cool, and it looks like the cast of this thing's going to be amazing. So I don't know. Paramount Plus is really doing a good job at pushing the boundaries of me wanting to pay for their service, because now I started paying for their service late back in like late 2021, and I'm enjoying their service. I'm not going to deny that, but the thing is, I don't really pay to watch their service for anything more than Star Trek. I watch all the new Star Trek shows on there. I've obviously reviewed some of them on my channel, as some of you guys have all seen. So I do enjoy Paramount Plus, and I love the service, but it was always been like an awkward thing of like, okay, but after Star Trek, what is there? And now this year we're gonna have some big answers at, because next month we have the Halo TV show, and the month after we have the Godfather TV show, and we have Star Trek in between that. So that is some damn good, high quality, awesome content to look forward to. And who knows how the Halo show is gonna turn out? I mean, it looks good, but like it still could be absolute garbage. But I don't think it will be. I'm excited about it. I'm interested. And I'm excited to see where that goes. But yeah, you guys can let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe, do all that, and I'll talk to you guys later.